that's one of the things that I find to be like so interesting. People get mad at people because they don't believe the lie that they've told to themselves. So you're mad at me because the math don't math in what you said. But the level, you have to think about the level of delusion that has to exist in order for you to believe a lie that you told yourself.
Yes.
When you know the real truth.
Yes. Yes.
That's a horrible state of confusion. And God's not in that place.
225 moments where his glory shines. Yeah.
Welcome to 225 Moments with me, MNicole. Friend, I am so happy that you're here. If this is your first time, welcome. And if it's your second time, if you've been around, you're a part of the family, welcome back, friend. I am so happy to have you. This is a space of empowerment and encouragement where we talk about stories of God's restoration power, inspired by Joel 2:25, where God says that he will restore years that the locust has eaten. So we're going to talk a little bit about some stories of restoration with a wonderful guest that I have here today. This is my friend. Listen, I am so excited that you're on with me today. I would like to say she's a vessel of beauty, honey. She is a vessel of healing. She got some oil. People don't know about it, but they're going to know about it today. I am so excited to have her. Letina Firmin, listen, we're so excited to have you. And better known as Envy to other people and your passionate friends and people that know you.
Yes.
And so I would say your beautiful brand of makeup and beauty of Locked in Luxe. So that's wonderful. Yes. Many may know her from that. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to introduce yourself properly and tell us all the things, including the oil.
All of the things.
Yes.
Okay. Hey, everybody. It's me. I'm Letina Firmin, also known as Envy Ferman, the makeup mogul. I'm also known as I Am Auntie Janice. That's probably the most popular of the personalities that I have on social media. I've been a makeup artist for 16 years. I'm from the great city of New Orleans, Louisiana, where they just don't make them like that.
Come on. The N.O.
Right, the N.O. I'm from where they make gumbo at, y'all. That's where I'm from. And I've been in the beauty industry for about 17 years now. And I just love people. I love inspiring people.
Yes.
I love encouraging people, whether or not that's through the brushes or just my voice. I love it all the way around.
Yeah.
So that's who I am in short, guys.
Yes. Well, listen, I'm so excited that you're on because I would just say to many, your hands is not just anointed, baby. It's your everything. When God did his thing, he did his big one.
Big one. That's it.
And so tell us about how you got started in beauty. Like, what made you pick up a brush? You said 17 years. That's almost 2 decades. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Right, to be, in makeup. And so makeup is much deeper because, listen.
Yeah, people think it's a surface level kind of thing, and it's really not.
Right.
I got started about 17 years ago. I was in college, and I was at Bethune-Cookman University. Hey, Wildcats, I know y'all out there.
Come on.
So, yeah, I was in Daytona Beach, Florida, and I had just returned back to college after taking like about 9 months break. I was in a bad relationship, and my ex bought me this compact of MAC makeup. I will never forget this.
Nice.
And, the makeup made me feel better about our bad situation at the time. Little did I know that that one compact was going to change my life years later. Because when I went back to college, like the makeup gave me a break long enough to feel better about the way I looked, but not better about my situation. So it gave me enough freedom. Well, I had enough confidence to kind of move about in life. And so I started doing makeup kind of on my friends, just randomly, artistic stuff, colorful stuff. And one day, I used to collect makeup everywhere I went. And one day, one of my friends leans across my desk and she goes, "You buy all this makeup. I bet you couldn't get paid for this." That moment, my life changed. It was a dare. And she said, I always knew you could do it, but it was just something that she said. And I remember when she said that to me, I said, bet. I just knew at that point, I knew I was good enough. I knew I was talented. And one thing my mother always instilled in me, and it's so funny, she used to be so hard on me, and I took it so personally, but I get it now. She said, you might not be the best, but you'll never be outworked.
Ooh.
And that one line is what I put in the front of my brain. And I was like, I'm going to get paid to do this. And for the last 16 years, predominantly over the last decade, I have traveled to other countries. I have been on any set you can think of. I've been at Tyler Perry's studio. I've been in Canada. I've been in Punta Cana. I've been in LA. I've been in New York.
Yeah.
I have worked on a lot of sets, and I've even managed for a brand. I've done it. Yeah. All the things that she dared me to do, in short. So that's how I got started.
Yeah.
But to me, the reason I kept going was because I struggled with my confidence after that relationship. I suffered with my appearance. I suffered with self-doubt. And I said, there got to be a million other women that feel the same way I do. Yes. And so I was like, well, if I could just get them in my chair, I'm sure I could help change that. And it started person by person by person by person. Yeah. So I've come in contact with hundreds of ladies over the last 17 years, and I've been able to kind of give them that little boost through makeup. So that's how it got, that's how it started.
Yeah. You know, you say this person dared you. Where are they now?
She's in Florida. She owns her own business. But you
Turn on your TV, girl.
Yeah. But you know what? She is so proud. Like she is so proud. When I did my interview for MAC Cosmetics, she came with me to do my interview.
Yes.
So to her, it was like, I knew you had it. Yeah. I just said it, but I didn't know you were gonna do all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she's super excited to see how far.
That's good. That's good. I'm so happy about that. So let's talk about the journey, because this person bought you a MAC palette. You started to collect other makeup, and you understood that it was in a dire situation when you're brokenhearted.
Yeah.
You know, listen, when you got a broken heart, you can't think sometimes. You can't even think straight. You know, but your inspiration of makeup just started to outweigh that. Yeah. I want you to talk about what happened underneath the brush, like underneath you transforming, doing yourself and building. How did you build yourself underneath that?
Ooh, now that happened over a period of time. That wasn't an overnight thing.
Okay.
And I love to say that because a lot of people, and all the beautiful women out there, hear me when I say this. It doesn't matter how much makeup you wear. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's Dior, if it's MAC, if it's Maybelline, if it's L'Oreal.
Yes.
If the issue is in you, it doesn't matter what's on the outside of you. And so the makeup helped me to feel good on the outside until one day I came face to face with, you look good, but you feel like crap. And I couldn't deny that. I couldn't deny that the makeup made me feel better. It made me look better to people, but on the inside, I was dying. I had to go back in the lab. I had to find myself again. One of my friends, she's here in Georgia, and I remember before I went back to college, she called me. I called her, and I was so broken. And she said, sis, just come back to Florida and stay with me until you're ready to go back to Louisiana. And I did. But when I got back to her, she remembers the person that left her 9 months prior. Yeah. And she was like, this is not the same person. What happened? And so she was like, how did you get here? What did you give up to get here? How many times did you set aside what you really wanted? Because that level of depression doesn't happen in an instant. It happens over a period of time. That's true. And so day after day after day, I was being chipped away. But the issue wasn't that person. The issue was me. Because what was it about me that made me give it up for them? So after doing the makeup, I came face to face with a woman in the mirror. And for me, that was one of the most amazing days of my life, and also one of the most devastating days of my life. And I believe that when a person discovers who they are in the mirror, it's going to be a great day, but it's a horrible day too. Because it's the proof that who you project you are is one person. Yeah. But who you are for real is another person.
Come on.
And you cannot hide that. So I always tell people, when you're up against things, if you're ever up against a demon, you're ever up against a spirit that you're really battling with it, don't slice it. Don't yell at it. Don't curse at it. Don't stomp at it. Kill it. Because if you let that thing live, it's going to come back. So when women ask me, like, how did you build your confidence? I defeated the demon of insecurity. And I got good at me. I love people. I appreciate people, but I got good at knowing who I was. And that was something that could never be destroyed. But coming face to face to that, it was shattering. Yeah. Because a lot of times, like, to our friends and our loved ones, we're this superhero. Like, you can't be stopped. She's so inspiring. She's so amazing. On the inside, you're like, I don't even feel half of that.
Right.
And then you have to sit, if you're spiritual, you have to sit with God in that. Yeah. And proof that God is saying, you are all of these things. You're growing into all of these things, but it's a process. And you got to let God slow cook you sometimes. And that was a slow cooking moment in my life. I tell people in this generation, we are very air fryer people. But there are some things in your life that God's going to do. He's going to have to put you in a crock pot and you're going to have to sit for a while.
Come on, crock
and for
pot.
6 to 8, you're going to have to wait. Some people going to go out and come in. Some people going to go before you. People going to come after you. And you're going to have to let God sit you in a crock pot because great things take time.
Ooh, stop.
Great things take time.
Stop. Really pump it. Because here's what I want you to go back to. When you said that you have to kill it, a lot of people don't understand what that means, right? Like, I feel like the deeper spiritual people understand that. But I want you to talk through a few steps that will help someone understand if I have circumstances where I'm attacked, I'm put up against some issues that I have to face with myself. How do I stand toe to toe with that?
Oh,
like what? Like what was? This was something that I could not do, and it changed my life. Like what was that?
The steps to defeating that version of you. Because truth be told, it's never you against anybody else. It's always you against you. And so a lot of times when things happen, we look at people or we look at circumstance. Like even that relationship, as much as I was offended by that person, the person that hurt me the most was me. Ooh. So I could give the blame to that person, but that's not where it really goes. So when you're changing your life and you're defeating these demons and you're coming up against things, the first thing is the reality that I'm up against something.
Right.
A lot of people take their issues and they set them to the side. They want to put them in closets. The devil don't fight you always in private. Sometimes you're going to have to get it up in public. And that may be an ugly process. So online, Auntie Janice would say, the level of honesty it takes to change your life is brutal, which is why most people never change their lives because it hurts.
It does.
The level of honesty it takes to take your life from one dimension to the next, I hate to say it, but it's going to kill you. And does that sound painful? Yes. Is it painful? Absolutely. But here's the thing. That life and this life cannot coexist. One has to go. So there's a version of you that has to die for the next version of you to produce itself.
Okay, so it sounds like this is what I heard. I heard you say to the person that is dealing with the insecurity, with the things that they have going on, when they look themselves in the mirror, and the first step they should do as they get ready to kill that, they must kill themselves.
For sure.
Like I think people miss that. Like
I don't think they miss it.
That mirror moment. Oh, people avoid the mirror.
Now, see, that's different. The first thing you said was they miss it.
Okay.
The second thing was they avoid it. Avoiding something and missing something are totally different.
That's true.
So truth be told, it's a conscious decision. You know why people don't lose weight? Because going in the gym is hard.
Yeah.
And you might have a breakdown while you in there and looking at the scale, not saying what it's supposed to say is uncomfortable. Yeah. So I don't think that people miss it. They avoid it. Why? Because it's hard. So that's why I say the first thing is acceptance and looking at what you're dealing with and taking it head on. Just because you lie to yourself don't mean the circumstance change.
Right. And just because you lie to yourself doesn't mean that someone else is going to believe the lie that you told to yourself.
Oh, absolutely.
But you'll think that because you believe it.
That's delusion.
That
is delusion.
Completely delusion,
absolutely.
Right? But people do that.
Oh, sure.
Here I am. I'm this person. Wait. That's not what I see. That's not what I am getting. But because you told yourself that over and over again, you believe it, and you mad at me because I don't believe it.
Now, that's one of the things that I find to be like so interesting. People get mad at people because they don't believe the lie that they've told to themselves. So you're mad at me because the math don't math in what you said. But you have to think about the level of delusion that has to exist in order for you to believe a lie that you told yourself.
Yes.
When you know the real truth.
Yes.
Like that's a horrible state of confusion, and God's not in that place. To buy into that and be upset with somebody because they don't want to buy into that. No. There comes a moment where you have to be honest with yourself. And you have to lay all your cards out on the table, because it's going to start with you. It's just like it began with you in the beginning. The bad stuff started with you. The change going to start with you too.
Yeah.
So after you accept that, you got to become tactical, because success don't happen on accident. It only happens on purpose.
Come on, you better drop it. Yes,
it doesn't. It doesn't. Like,
that's true.
It doesn't happen on accident. It happens on purpose. It happens with intent.
Yeah.
It happens with deliberation. Like, there has to be a action that's intentional. You want to lose weight? Be intentional about going to the gym. You lack confidence? Be intentional about speaking life into yourself. If you're insecure about the way you look, be intentional about getting dressed and putting on clothes. Be intentional about those things. So you got to get a plan and make up in your mind, I'm not going to stop until it's different. Not stopping when it's hard. Not stopping until it's different, because it's a definite. It is absolute that things will get difficult. In everything you do, there will come a moment where it's just not easy. But discipline is what kicks in when your confidence gets low. So you have to commit to whatever change you're trying to see or whatever change you're trying to produce. So you got to get tactical. That's the second step. Get tactical. Come face to face with it, then get tactical. Get a plan.
Intentional. You know, I my whole manifestation circle, right? Because I talk about that all the time. The whole goal of manifestation circle is to live intentionally. And you know why? Because it's so easy to be in situations and letting stuff just happen. I mean, it's gotten so popular down to the point that people come to nice little phrases, when life be lifing. No, life ain't just lifing for you. Where are you being intentional about your life? Like, not to say life may not go in a life and cycle, but the intentional of you keeping this clean and this right is different. It makes whatever life happens, but the intentions will always be good because you are intentional.
For sure.
You know?
You have to do that. You have to be intentional. Like you said, life is going to life. There is a period where life will life. That is absolute. However, your intention over a period of time will shift something. Jim Carrey was homeless and lived in his car, but his intention about chasing comedy, even though life lived for a period of time. Even the Bible talks about things being in seasons. And things coming to an end, things growing. So even if things get rough right now, it doesn't mean that they have to stay there. But your intention and your dedication and your commitment is what's going to help you catch it on the curve.
That's good.
But you have to be ready for that though, because when opportunity knocks, or here's a chance for you to change your life, it's all cool if you've been saying, God, things are hard, I want something different, and God gives you an avenue, but you don't want to take it, or you don't recognize it, or you feel like you can't take it because I'm not prepared. So even in your down season, even in your hard seasons, you got to prepare for your good season because it's coming.
Ooh, that's
you
good.
Can look at the negative things and say that they're absolute.
Yes.
Yeah, even death is absolute. It's coming.
Yes.
However, life is here too.
Yes.
And eventually those cycles run their course, and you have to allow them.
Yeah. I was in this, I'm in this community for business. It's a coaching community. And one of the things someone said was, they gave this analogy about this father. He is the coach of his son, and he plays like this. He's like a real famous kid that plays college ball.
Okay.
And so he said that he took him out of ball or whatever it was that he was playing because he was not in shape. And so everybody was thinking, well, wouldn't playing ball get you in shape? And he said, no. See, when you're getting in shape, it requires conditioning of you before you get on the field. Exactly. And so when you said that, it brought me to that analogy. Like, it's not what you do when the lights and stuff is rolling. It's who you are when it ain't rolling. It's who you are off the field. What are you practicing every day? You can't tell me that the things that you're doing every day are not preparing you for the field, preparing you for the greater, and it just made so much sense. Like, people tend to think as business owners and someone who, has a personal life, balancing the two. I tell people this all the time. I can't get out. I tell people this all the time, that who you are in your personal life is also who you are in your business life.
Facts. That is absolutely 100% true.
The way you do anything is how you do everything.
It is true. And it's so funny. One of my mentees, I always tell her that, how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do one thing is how you do every other thing in your life. And it shows. There's a connectivity. There's a thought process that happens there. If you're lazy in your marriage, you'll be lazy on your job. If you're a procrastinator in your business, you're a procrastinator outside of your business.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't see that or know that, but people recognize that those are the traits that you carry. But you have to look at whatever the characteristic that you're dealing with and say, is that who I want to be? Because contrary to popular belief, I know we say like everybody wants to be great.
Yeah.
I believe that. But then I know that there are some people that are going to work at being great. And that's the difference. The action behind that is so different. And when you really want it, you go after it. You buckle down. Yeah. You lock in. There's something
different.
Business ownership, it is not for the weak. Let me tell you, because you have to deal with personalities.
Yes.
You have to deal with spirit. Like, I'm a makeup artist. I tell people, you have no idea what it's like to, especially a wedding, to come across different spirits and different moods and different energies. You don't know what people are dealing with. And they sit that in my chair. But my commitment to doing everything in excellence is no matter what they're carrying, I know what I'm carrying. And God gives me the authority. The atmosphere doesn't change because you walked in. It changed because I'm in this room.
Come on.
And knowing the power that I have to shift any atmosphere. I have worked for a lot of celebrities. I've been all over the world, and I found that to be very unique, that I've never had to change no matter what atmosphere I've been in. I've had people who pay me to come on their sets. They either leave and go do whatever it is they have to do, or they send me somewhere because they don't want me in a certain environment. They know what's going on, but they know who I am. And my personality, my spirit, my aura is shifting things. But the excellence that I bring with my work is the excellence that I command in that environment.
Come on.
And I don't even have to say I command it. Like, especially when you talk about manifestation.
Yeah.
When you get good at it, when you figure out the thought process, I'm pretty sure you stop saying what you want and you just start commanding what you want. Or in the spiritual reference, you start saying, I think I saw this in one of your videos, you start pulling it down.
That's right.
The reason you don't have it is not because you don't say it, it's because you don't pull it down.
Come on.
So you got to start pulling it down.
You're talking my language, girl.
See, but all of those things, they're the same and they're interconnected. So, like you said, how you do one thing in your life,
it's how you do everything.
It's how you gonna do everything in your life.
Yes.
And eventually, the chapter that I'm on right now in my life, and in every facet of my life, is I'm serious about me. Everything concerning me.
Yeah.
The Bible says that God will perfect the things that concern you.
Yeah.
If God thinks enough to be concerned about me, when am I going to get real about me? So I can't be laxed right now. I was telling my friend, I was like, for 21 days, I'm going to eat clean. Just out of the blue for 21 days. And for 21 days, I committed to doing that. And I saw the results of that. So my next thing is going to be another 21 days, but this time 21 days and the gym. Because how I do one thing is how I do everything.
Come on.
But I'm so committed to me, not what people see when they see me, what I see when I see myself, because that's what matters.
Yes.
You will be great and people will still dislike you.
That's true.
You will be wealthy and they will hate the fact that you're wealthy.
It go with it. You forgot that part. It go with it.
That comes with the territory.
The moment that you walk in your greatness, here comes the haters.
But why do the haters come?
Yes.
See, the haters don't come because you're great. The haters come because they have the capacity to be great, but they've made the decision not to do the work. It's not because they can't handle you being great.
And the decision outweighs the love, and it turned into hate. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, their lack of commitment, right? The difference between any two people in any room is one locked in and clocked in and got to work, and the other one talked about it. There's some doers, there's some triers, there's some liars, and there's some quitters.
Come on.
In any business, here's the thing. If you're talking about being successful and you're talking about taking your life to the next level, you're going to beat half the people if you show the hell up.
Ooh, let's
be honest.
That's the most of the check.
Hello. In my business, when we book weddings, we have a bridal form, but the moment you fill it out, within 30 minutes, somebody calls you. You know how many times brides tell me, you called? And then with me being an influencer, they say, but you called. Your assistant didn't call. No team called me. You took the time to call me. I said, well, I want your business. I said, I want to do business with you, correct? She says, yes. I said, well, why wouldn't I call you? And that's down to the bride. That's down to the everyday person. So how you treat a wealthy somebody is how you going to treat a poor somebody.
Come on.
How you do one thing is how you do everything.
It's exactly it. You know, I was thinking about when we was talking about delusion, right? And how, you know, you can lie to yourself and then you get mad at people who don't believe the lie that you want people to believe, right? What about the environment? So we talked about facing yourself and doing the work, being intentional, number 2. What about the environment? I feel like there is such a connection of the environment also giving off where you are. Like even in intentions. Say that you're completely intentional about your life, but your environment is not. It is corrupt. That is not, of course, that's not intentional completely, but it's to someone who think that, oh, I'm just going to read these scriptures and I'm going to follow the yellow brick road that God puts in front of me, and I'm just going to pray every day and I'm going to fast and all of that. But they're still connected to things that are in their environment that's still corrupting where they are. I want to kind of shed some light there because when you talked about finding yourself, you said you left and stayed with a friend in Florida. That environment changed.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I went to an environment. Now, here's the difference. I was in a relationship with someone who saw me but didn't know me. But my friend was the person who saw me because she knows me. Right? So when I went back to her, she was able to say, because she knew me as a person and she knew my spirit, she could see that what I presented wasn't what's there. And that's where she kind of left me alone in that space. And she was like, you're going to have to do the work to get out of this. And I'll never forget it because here's the truth. Delusion is really isolation.
Wait. Break it down.
Delusion requires seclusion. Here's why. When you're in a delusional state, you can be in a room full of 1,000 people. Truth of the matter is there's really only one person in that room because that's not a reality. Delusion is when you look up delusion by definition, it says something to the effect of knowing a thing to be true and acting or responding in the opposite as if it is not. So if they tell me this is a mic right here and I'm going, there's no mic here. But I see the mic, but there's no mic here. That's delusion because the reality is that it's sitting right in front of me. But the ability, the commitment to act as if it's not, to turn my head as if it's not, that's delusion. So even though it's here, in order to ignore this, I'm isolating myself.
Ooh, that's
so if
good.
I'm going to be in a room full of 1,000 people and
That's
I'm delusional about who I am, I'm surrounded by everybody. But the truth of the matter is I'm isolated.
That's good.
Because here's the thing. When you're delusional, there is no sense of authenticity.
Yeah.
Everything's a fraud. Everything's a fake. And it don't matter how good you look, how many bundles you got down to the floor, how great you smell, how much money
Not the bundles on the floor.
Listen, how great you smell, how much money you got in your pocket.
Yes.
Why do you think a lot of rich people do crazy things? A couple of years ago, Paris Hilton stole out of a store. The Paris Hilton that comes from the line of the Hilton.
Yeah, money.
What would make you do that?
Right.
I'm rich and delusional. I'm beautiful, delusional. How many beautiful, delusional women do we know?
Ooh,
How many handsome, delusional men do we know?
Friend.
Do we see? So delusion is really seclusion because I'm around these people, but I can't keep it real enough to let nobody really see what it is.
Ooh, wait. Listen, if you didn't talk about something right there, delusion,
It's seclusion. And you know why people hide? Because the reality,
oh my God,
the blunt reality of what I'm really dealing with, of who I really am is so embarrassing. It's so humiliating that I can't let you know. Wow. I can't let you see me in this ugly state.
Right.
I can't let you see that my marriage is in shambles. I can't let you see that I'm not really this confident.
Yes.
I can't let you see that I'm not who I told you it's ugly over here.
Right. That I'm really this broken.
But you know what's interesting about what you do? Your tribe has been built and orchestrated for the space that you're in.
Yes.
So when you talk about environment,
Yes.
I just watched the Dear Wifey podcast.
Yes.
And Pastor John Gray's wife talked about her suit being built for her husband. She said, everybody told me I should leave. She said, the Bible says that he'll find a suitable partner. She said, my suit was built for my partner. But your tribe, their suits are built for your depression. They're built for your anxiety.
Come on.
They're built for the moments that you can't see yourself. They're built for the moments that you don't love yourself.
Yes.
Your tribe, your environment, the people that are supposed to be in your environment are built for that. And I learned that after dealing with some issues with some of my mentees over the past maybe 18 months.
Yeah.
And God says he told me, he said, you know what your issue is? He said, it's not that you're not great. Yeah. It's not that you're not doing great work. He said, you have to learn how to assist without being attached. And I failed at that.
Ooh. Wait. Play that back. You got to learn how to.
He said, you have to learn how to assist without being attached. See, I thought that whenever I would help people and I would advise people, I would coach people, I had to drop all of me in them. That means if you call me at 12 o'clock at night, I'm answering. And if I'm on vacation, I'm texting you back. If you got a bill, I'm paying for it. I had to deposit everything that was in me. The problem is even though I was making all the deposits, everybody was making withdrawals, and I ended up in a negative, and I couldn't live with that.
Yes.
So God told me, he said, you have to learn how to assist without being attached. Because some things that are attached to you are leeches.
They're not your assignment.
They're not your assignments. You can assist. I've given you provision. I'll make way for you to help them.
Yeah.
But I'm not asking you to save them. That's my job.
Yeah. And wherever you go, because of the oil, it will overflow on people, and they'll attach themselves to you because of the oil.
Oh, for sure. You know why? Because the oil is appealing. Now, if we're gonna talk about something and be super candid, let's talk about how the oil. And I want people, if you're listening and you're in leadership and you're in mentorship or you're in pastoral leadership or ministry, understand that your oil was designed to bring people to you. For a long time, I didn't know that I could be in any room. And somebody's going to get attached to me. I went to the conference for one of my clients who's incredibly successful. I came dressed down. And a man pulled me to the side. He said, who are you? All these millionaires in here, you want to know who I am? He said, no. He said, but you're a somebody.
Right.
Your oil is designed to bring people to you. But your discernment will keep the people that belong there and will help sift through the people that don't. But the oil is designed. So when you see people just latch on to you, they're supposed to be, even a hater gonna latch on to you. You got to be around to find something to hate about.
And it's good that you say that, because when you said about the assist and attached, I just remember, like, for this was some years ago. I remember I had this young lady, and she was my assistant many years ago. And when I tell you, I loved her. Like, she thought like me. She was like my right hand, right? And so some things happened where she started to, go. You know how people they start
weird.
good, they start getting, their energy start changing, and so she dropped the ball, and probably after working with me for about maybe 3 years. So then we had to part ways. And that just was a business decision. And I hated that because my attachment was also to her, and I also made it my assignment. I did. Yeah, I made it. So in the midst of that, I'm taking myself back there, but I remember in the midst of that, when you assign yourself to things where God did not put you, it will cause such a setback on your journey. Like, I remember just having to reset at that moment because I did not have her as that assistant to me. And I had to almost just, like, it became more about the position that was gone versus about my assignment that he had assigned me to, right? So after some time had went along, we stayed social media connected. And one day I was looking online and I noticed that she was pregnant. She had a kid. Well, she was getting ready to have a kid. She had a baby shower. She was putting up baby pictures and stuff. And then out of nowhere, she put up another post. I want to say maybe like a month later, maybe a few weeks or so. And she talked about the baby had died.
Oh, wow.
And so I immediately just was like, oh my God. Like, I imagine I knew her spirit, because keep in mind, for her to be an assistant to me for so long, she was more of an extension of me, and she was like a sister. So I was like, oh my God, that had to be hard. And one thing that God put me as an assignment to her at that moment was show her how to keep going. That was my assignment to her. So I reached out to her and was like, hey, give me a call. And I talked to her and I, poured into her, gave her encouragement, gave her the word, all the things. And I said, from this point forward, every Friday, I am calling you to check on you. And I'm not looking for perfection. I am only looking for you to stay tuned in, tapped in. And we're going to talk about where you are, because I want to remind you to push. I want to remind you to keep going, right? I did that straight for 2 years. Every Friday. Listen, Envy, I didn't miss a Friday. If me and my husband was on vacation, he knew that I had coined the Friday to be her name Friday. He knew that. He was like, oh, today is so-and-so Friday. I said, yeah, just give me about 2 hours, babe. I got to just pour. I committed to that. Right? It went like it was supposed to go until the assignment was up. When the assignment was up, I was so caught up in the pouring that I didn't recognize that the assignment was up.
Stayed longer than you were
So what ended up happening was her meeting me on Fridays shifted from me pouring and telling her to push to now it's fictitious delusion. It's a whole, I'm telling you, you get on the line with her on Fridays, child, it is young and restless. And it's stories about things that she wants to prove in her mind to me, meaning selling me who she wanted to really be, but I didn't see that. So imagine someone being in a delusional place, like you said, it's isolation. Mm-hmm. But they're selling you something that they want you to believe when God gave us the gift of foresight spiritually. I don't believe it. So instead of me cutting off the assignment when I was in the face of that, I let it go on, believing that the experience between us would bridge that gap. I did. I thought that the love would loosen the screws, and one day she'll realize you don't have to be all of that because I'm your sister. Your big sister. I just want you to keep pushing. That's all. It changed. It changed. And eventually I had to abort the assignment. Because listen, when you don't abort the assignments, it get ugly. It get ugly. I'm talking about it puts you in such places where you'll ask yourself, how did you get here? When God said, I didn't tell you to stay there that long anyway.
I didn't tell you to do that. Maybe that happened to me. And it tore my life up. Like, God was like, I told you to do this. Yeah. And you're good at doing that. Yeah. I didn't mean for you to do this and that. Right. And it backfired. By the time I was burned in a situation, I didn't see it coming. Yeah. And that was a moment in my life too that God was like, you're going to help thousands of people. And if you were out there during this period, don't be offended. I got to a point where the people around me would never let anybody hug me. They wouldn't let people shake my hands. I wasn't being weird. Yeah. It's just that I realized that the oil that was in my hand was attracting all kinds of people. And some I was assigned to, and some I could assist. And in some cases, I was being depleted. So that's when I learned how to draw the line. Yeah. There had boundaries. To be you have to have them. Yeah. You have to have, and here's the thing, boundaries are not, contrary to popular belief, boundaries are not for other people. They're really for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are a safe space, a safety net for you. It's what keeps you saved.
Yeah.
And when you do have God's oil on your life and you're actively using your gifts, you got to use that.
Yeah.
It's God's way of protecting you.
Yeah. So the first thing that when you experience people that are depleted, right, you should look at them and say, where's your boundaries?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because most of the time there isn't any.
Yeah, I'm big on what did you do?
Right.
I'm always, it's
too.
the craziest thing.
Me
I always
too.
ask people, but what did you do?
Exactly.
Well, such and such did this. Yeah, but what did you do?
Right.
And they said this to me, but after they said it, what did you do?
Yes.
You know why? Because
Yeah.
depletion doesn't happen on the initial withdrawal.
Yeah.
It happens after multiple withdrawals.
Come on.
So what happens when you saw, like my mom and I used to have this saying that life is like a checking account. There are going to be many transactions.
Yeah.
Many people will make withdrawals, but very few will make deposits. It's your job to make sure you don't end up in the negatives, right?
Yeah.
So when I look at life, I look at it like that. Almost every relationship I have, I look at it like that. I love you. That's great. We're sisters. That's great. You're a mentee. That's amazing.
Yeah.
How many withdrawals are you making compared to deposits?
Yeah.
Because even as a leader, even as a mentor, I still need deposits.
Yeah.
The smartest thing I think I do is I stay around the fire so I can stay lit.
Yeah.
I hang around people that are lit so that I can stay lit. Because when you're constantly giving, eventually your flame is going to turn into a flicker. And God doesn't want me to be depleted in my in operating in my gifts. He wants me to use them, but he doesn't ever want me to get down to where I'm putting.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find energy. I'm trying to find the energy to pray. I'm trying to find the energy to help people. No, if he's gifted me to do that, that's there. I've been conditioned for this gift. I've been conditioned for this season. So drawing the boundaries, making sure I take care of me.
Yeah.
I've taken care of a lot of people over the years,
Yeah.
but I make sure to take care of me because I have a responsibility. If I'm going to really run this race the way God told me to run it, I got to take care of me too.
So here's something else that's super key that when you talk about deposits that I think is super important. You got to be careful that you understand the deposits. And here's what I mean, because these people that are in this assignment, even if it's temporary, or they come to you and they want to be assigned to you, attached to you, all the things, oftentimes the ones that I have experienced, they come with stuff. They want to take you here. They want to buy this. They want to buy that. But your spirit has to understand, is this really a deposit or is this a distraction? I think there's a big difference there because the deposit and the distractions look different.
Yeah.
When it's a deposit, it's tied to a spiritual gift that also feeds you spiritually. When it's a distraction, it could just be tied to a physical, fleshly, carnal. It is something that looks appealing, but it has nothing else behind it.
It has no substance.
No substance.
Yeah. But let me tell you something. When you get the right kind of enemy and you get the right kind of snake, listen, I'm famous for saying.
What's the right kind of enemy,
listen,
friend?
I always say if I find a snake in my garden, I cut it off at the head. You know why? Because the right kind of enemy knows what your spirit is attracted to and knows what your flesh likes.
Ooh.
See, the right kind of enemy has studied you.
Right. You're right.
You think that some of the tricks are coming from strangers. Oh, no. They've come from people
right.
that have sat back and studied you. Ooh. I have over 1 million followers. And people always say, it's great you have over 1 million followers. Honey, I got 753,000 enemies that I don't know. I could be anywhere, everywhere, and I don't know.
And that's still to me like 700. Listen,
that's a lot.
That's a lot, but for millions, you can. I think it's more than that, friend.
It probably is. You know, I've been all kind of places and had people. I've been on Bourbon Street doing some work during Essence Festival.
Yeah,
had a lady pop out. She walked up on the side. She's like, "Are you M.V. Ferman?" I'm like, "That depends." I was like, "Does she say crazy stuff online?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's me." And she screams. I was on Miami when Houston had a huge storm, and everybody was flooding Houston, going to Miami because there was a snowstorm in Houston. A lady finds me in the middle of the beach. I never even told nobody that I was going to Miami. And the lady screaming, she's like, "It's in me! It's in me!" And my friend's like, "Is that lady calling?" She's like, how does she even know that that's you? But here's the thing. When you use your gifts, and you use them in the right way,
Yeah.
man, people are going to be drawn to you.
They are.
They won't even know why.
Yeah.
They'll be like, it's just something about you I like.
That's true. That's true.
You know, and
That's
and I
true.
always tell them like that's God's light on me. I carry that wherever I go. Why carry a pistol when I can carry that? That's more dangerous.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. And so I hope this blessed you. I would just tell you, you could always find 225 Moments on iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spotify, anywhere you watch your podcast, we'll be there. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and share, because God is up to something, and we're so glad that you're here at 225. Have a wonderful day.